Tasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Chayam Udirayat Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pashyatate Shatarine Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinam Maditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe Radhe Welcome back. We're back in Bhagavad Gita. Yes. This is chapter 18, the conclusion. Yes. It's an excellent chapter, which we love very much. So, let me check here. The chapter's title, according to, is the perfection of renunciation. It's all about sannyasa. Samyasan. Let me see here. The actual proper Sanskrit. Since I got this computer change, all my tabs are forever gone, which is sad. It's sad.
You get to build a new one, new collection.
Yeah. New collection.
Really cool. What's no longer serving you?
It was always serving me.
There's way too many.
No. Very useful resources. Very useful. So, when did we do last? I lost everything. So it's chapter 18.
Don't lose your smriti.
Is it 13? Yes. We didn't talk about Vedanta. Yes.
We did 12.
Yes, so 8:13. Juhachi 10:13, 18.13. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame Sankhe kritante proktani siddhaya sarva karmanam. Pancha. 5. Go. Itani, these. Korera no. Mahabaho, almighty armed one. Karanani, causes. Gain. Nipota, just understand. Tadarikai suru. Me, from me. Watashi kara. Sanke, in the Vedanta. Vedanta ni wa. Krita ante, in the conclusion. Ketsuron toshite. Proktani, said. Itta. Siddhaye, for the perfection. Kansei no tame. Sarva, of all. Subete no. Karmanam, activities. Katsudo. Almighty armed Arjuna. According to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all actions. Now learn of these from me.
豪遊のし、アルジュナよ。ベーダンタにはあらゆる活動の元となる5つの要因が示されている、記されている。私の語るその説明を聞くがよい。
Yes. So Vedanta, conclusion, it's like the end of knowledge.
はい。ベーダンタはもう知識の、終焉、終わり、結論ですね。
Yeah, the final, Prabhupada says the final stock of knowledge.
プラブパータは、知識のファイナルストックオブノレッジ。究極的な知識の宝庫。
Right? Because it says Sankhya Kritante, which is the Praktani, the conclusion of the Sankhya, right? Of all knowledge.
サンキャの結論っていうことですね。このサンキャクリタンテというところ。
Hi, so Juhachiten Juyong, let's learn about this Vedanta. Adishtanam tata karta karanam cha pritagvidam vividhascha pritak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam.
アンディシタナムタタカルタカラナムチャプリタクビタムビビダスチャプリタクチェスタダイバンチャイバトラパンチャマン
Adishtanam, the place.
場所アディシタ
Basho. Tata, also.
もまた
Momata, karta, the worker.
行為者
Koisho. Karanam, instruments.
道具
Dogu. Cha, and.
そして
Soshite. Pritakvidam, of different kinds.
さまざまな種類の
Tamazana shuri no. Vividha, various.
さまざまな
Tamazamana. Cha, and.
そして
Soshite. Pritak, separate.
別の
Betsuno. Cheshtaha, the endeavors.
努力
Doyoku. Daivam, the supreme.
講師
Koshu.
思考師
Shikoshu. Cha, also.
もまた
Momata. Eva, certainly. Tashkani.
確かに
Atra, here.
ここ
Koko. Panchamam, the fifth.
5番目
Gobame. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the supersoul. These are the 5 factors of action.
活動の場体行為者さまざまな感覚あらゆる努力そして究極的には思考の魂これらが活動の5要素である
So, body, performer, senses, the many different kinds of endeavors, and ultimately the supersoul. Adishtanam. It's another name for body or deha.
アディシュタナムは、体デハの、呼び方の一つでもあります、
Ne? And ultimately the supersoul means that basically, no matter what, supersoul is actually the governor, the one that's making everything happen.
そして究極的に思考の魂って言ってるってことは、何であれ究極すべてを引き起こしているまたは操っているのは思考の魂だってことですね。
That's why you might have a desire for something, but if it's outside of the supersoul's will, it cannot happen.
なのであなたが何かに対して望みがあったとしてもそれが思考主の望みの外側であればそれは叶わないっていうことですね。
Yes. Yes. That's it's interesting to know that there is a limit to what we can do.
私たちができることにはリミット限界があるっていうことを知るのも興味深いところです。
Yeah. And even though the one who is conscious, the one who's conscious of the relationship with the Supreme,
思考主との関係のことを意識している人でも
that one, of course, is in the world but not of the world.
その人はもちろんこの世界の中で生きながら世界に飲み
So that allows you to not be attached by action.
そうすると行為の結果に執着しなくて済むけれども。
Nay, but then also, like as Prabhupada said, in that surrendered state,
そのサレンダーした状態では、プラブパーダが言ってるように、
in this way, God is acting through you.
あなたを通して神様が行動しているっていうこと。
Now, God is actually acting through everyone.
まあ実際誰もに対して神が動いてるんだけれども、
The mechanism of control that is primarily relied upon is Yogamaya, is the three modes of material nature.
ヨガマヤっていうこの物質次元の3つの様式を通して思考主はこの世界、物質世界を操ってますよね。
Yeah. So the soul is trying to act through many different avenues.
この魂っていうのはいろんな、道を使って、行動しようとしています。
But ultimately, the Supreme is doing the job.
でも究極思考主が、その行為をしてるわけです。
Let's go to the next one. Juhachi Go. Shariravan manopiryat karma prarabhate nara nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetava.
シャリラバンマノビリアカルマプラバテナラニャヤンバビパリタンバパンチャイテタスヤヘタバ
Sharira, the body.
体によって
Vak, speech.
話
That's actually something that I forgot to mention to the last TTC group.
最後のこの間の TTC で話し忘れたんだけど
Yeah, is that remember the story of Brahma pursuing Saraswati?
ブラフマーがサラスワティを追いかける話
That Vak is that's the name of Saraswati. That's also where we get the word voice from.
You talked about that.
Did I mention that?
You mentioned about Vak, but you didn't really talk in relation to
Yeah.
Brahma.
Yes.
この Vak っていうのは、voice 英語の voice の語源です。
So Brahma being the embodiment of wisdom and Saraswati being voice, Vak, of course wisdom falls in love with the voice because it needs to express it.
で、ブラフマーは知識とか英知ですね。で、サラスワティはスピーチ、話すとか言語、言葉。なのでもちろんブラフマーは自分の英知を表現したいからサラスワティに恋に落ちる。声を求めますよね。
It only
That
makes
means you need me to express you.
for Japanese. For Japanese. For me to learn the Japanese required to express his philosophy on my level of English and to be able to because it's not just the level of English, it's also to be able to think deeply on my feet like I do in English. I don't know how long that would take for me to develop that Japanese. A long time. Or I have to just do nothing else except for just study that, and I could do it quickly maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
Nobody's expecting you.
Yeah.
But at your level, you're forever dependent on someone else.
I'm dependent on God all the time, so I surrender.
Yeah.
So, the right or wrong is important.
Okay. Are you moving forward?
No, because whatever right or wrong. I was talking about. Oh, sorry, I went to Vak. Sorry. Anyway, manobihi, the mind.
マノビヒ、そして心。
So shite kokoro. Yat, which
この
kono karma, work,
カルマ、活動
katsudo, parabate, begins.
始まる
Kazemaru, nara, a person, hito. Nyayam, right,
正しい
va,
あるいは
or so. Iviparitam, the opposite.
反対の
Hantai no va, or
あるいは
pancha, 5, go. ete, all these.
これらすべて、
Korera subate. Tasya its.
その
Sono hetavaha causes.
原因。
Gain. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors.
正しいものであれ、正しくないものであれ、体、心、言葉で人が行う行為にはこの5要因がある。
So, right or wrong again has to do with the law of the Supreme again.
で、この正しい、正しくないっていうのは、判断基準は思考主になります。
Right? So, the actions start like it expresses through the body.
で、行為っていうのは体を通して行われますよね。
Who's the performer of the action?
で、行為を行う者は誰？
Like the purusha, the personality, right?
プルシャ、またはその人格です
Yeah.
ね。
And it's going through some sense, requires some sense.
で、それは何らかの感覚器官を通さないと行為はできない。
And then something, it's many different kinds of endeavor. There's so many different actions.
まあ、いろんな行為、いろんな種類の行為があるからいろんな感覚器官を使えるけれども。
And then finally the super soul. So it has to pass through all these channels to be able to become an action.
で、最終スーパーソウル、まあ、まあ、これら全部が、伴わないと行為っていうのが完成しないっていうこと。
And again, the 3 worlds, body, mind, or speech.
で、人が行える行為っていうのは3つの世界があるよね。
Thought, word,
思考と
so
言動と行動。
in English we say thought, word, and deed.
英語では思考、行動、言動、思考、言動、行動って言いますけれども。
Yeah. And then that's the whole scope of action in this life. It falls into one of these 3 categories.
それが、まあ、この世界、この人生の作り上げているものだね。このカテゴリーのどれかに全てが当てはまるということだね。
So I always like to remember that
それをいつもね、思い出したいんです。
because very often, especially when I was young, I used to think, how many different ways can life be? But when you think of it along these terms, it can only be in thought, word, and action. That's it. It's not as infinitely fantastic as your imagination would like you to believe.
っていうのはね、特に僕は若かった頃とかですね、まあ、人生っていうのがどれだけ無限の可能性を秘めているかっていうふうに想像していたんだけど、まあ、考えてみると実際はこの3つの、次元でしか私たちは行為ができないから割と限界があるっていうことなんですね。
And then to also understand that all of your actions are limited by those 3 worlds, but also are limited by these 5 gates, basically.
あと分かりたいことは私たちの行為っていうのはこの体と心、思うことと話すことでしかないし、プラスそれが通る5つの門を通す。
You're totally gone again. Kino Onaji, same thing happened yesterday. Matsumegu came on again, and then Junko disappeared. Onaji timing Kino, Matsumegu. Very interesting. Interesting. Omutsuroi yo. Nan desu ka? Very interesting. Adishtanam wa karada. Junko left, came and left. Karta, Shastra, Artha, Vat. The instruments of actions are the senses. And by the senses, the soul acts in various ways. For each and every action, there is a different endeavor, but all one's activities depend on the will of the Supersoul, who is seated in the heart of all beings as a friend. The Supreme Lord is the root cause of all actions. Param Brahma is the doer of all reality. 私の日本語哲学はちょりめとよ。Shri Bahulashvavata Katita Shri Harir Vishnu Avataro Bhavatyalam Sadhunam Rakshanartam Hi Kripaya Vadamam Prabhu. How often does Lord Vishnu, who removes all that is inauspicious, descend to this world to protect the devotees, O Lord? Please kindly tell me of the avatars. Sri Narada Vacha. Where is Junko? Sham Shom Shastata Visha Kalapurna Prakatyate Vyasadyascha Smrita Shashta Paripurnatma Swayam. Sri Narad said, in the Smriti Shastra, the great sages who have Vyas as their leader, explains that the Lord descends in 6 kind of forms. Amshamsha, a part of a part. Amsha, a part. Avesha, entrance into a jiva. Kala, a full part. Purna, full. And Paripurnatma, most full. This is, by the way, the Garga Samhita I'm reading. Until Junko comes back, I'm reading Garga Samhita. Sham Shastu Marichadir Amsha Brahmadayastata Kala Kapila Kurmadya Avesha Bhargavadaya. The Amshamsha incarnations begin with Marichi. The Amsha incarnations begin with Brahma. The Kala incarnations begin with Kapila and Kurma. And the Avesha incarnation begins with Parashuram. Junko is still gone. Purno Nirsimho Ramascha Svitadvita Bhipohari Vaikuntopi Tata Yagno Naranarayana Smrita. The Smriti Shastra explains that the Purna incarnations are Nirsimha, Rama, Lord Hari, the ruler of Svetadvipa, Vaikunta, Yagna, and Narayana. Paripurnatma Sakshak Shri Krishno Bhagavan Swayam Ashankya Brahmanda Patir Goloke Damni Rajate. The Paripurnatma form of the Lord is Sri Krishna, who is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. He is the master of countless universes. He is splendidly manifest in the realm of Goloka. Karyadikaram kurvanta sadam shashte prakirtita tatkarya param kurvantas Teyam Shamsha Vidita Prabhu. The Amsha incarnations are said to oversee the executions of the Lord's mission in this world. The Amshamsha incarnations are understood to perform the work of executing those missions. Yeshamantar gato Vishnu karyam kritva vinirgata Nana Vishavataramscha Vidhira Janmahamate. O great soul, O king, please know that in the various Avesha incarnations, Lord Vishnu enters a jiva, execute his mission, and then departs. Very interesting. Dharmam Vijnaya Kritvaya Punarantari Dityata yuge vartamana sovatara kalahari. Millennium after millennium, Lord Hari's Kala incarnations teach and establish the principles of religion, and then disappear, just like Junko. Chaturvyo bhavedyatra drishante charasanava ataparam cha viryani satupurna prakatyate. The Purna incarnations are said to include the Chatur Vyuha incarnations. They are said to be the places where heroic powers and the 9 rasas are seen. 9 ras. Yasmin sarvani tejamsi viliyante svatejasi tam vadante pare sakshat paripurnatmanam swayam. Others say that the form of the Lord where all powers and glories enter is his paripurnatmana form, the original form of the Lord himself, Sri Krishna. Purnasya lokshanam yatra tampashe pritak pritak bhavenyapi ajana soyam paripurnatmaha swayam. The transcendental qualities people see distributed among the Lord's Purna incarnations are all present in the Lord's original Paripurnatmaha form. Radhe Radhe Junko.
I don't know what's going on. I have full connection on my phone and it wasn't working. Anyway, I'm back.
Welcome back. I was just reading from the Garga Samhita.
Garga Samhita?
Yes, one day we will do this. We'll cover this text. I have some nice homeworks I've been preparing because we're at the end of the Gita. I wanted to study many more things. So I was just reading from it. Junko's gone again. All right, I will continue the Garga Samhita, chanting Purna Purnaha Purushottamotaha Parat Paro Ya Purusha Parishvara Svayam Sadanandamayam Kripakaram Gunakaram Tam Sharanam Vrajamyaham. He is perfect and complete. He is the oldest. He is the most exalted of exalted people. He is greater than the greatest. He is the Supreme Person. He is the Master of the exalted. He who is full of bliss, who is the jewel of mercy, who is a jewel mine of transcendental virtues, I take shelter. Garga Samhita 1.28. Sri Garga Uvacha Tachtrutva Harshito Raja Romanchi Prema Vivala Param Shriya Nitre Shrupurne Naradam Vakyam Abravit. Sri Garga said, hearing this, the king became very happy, overcome with love, and the hairs of his body erect in ecstasy. He wiped his tear-filled eyes and spoke to Narada. Junko is back?
Yeah, hopefully this will stay. I really can't do anything to fix it.
Yes. Well, you can restart your whole system.
I did.
All right. Well, that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember where I left from. So I was going to say that the body, the adishtanam,
Yeah.
is the first limit of action.
Yeah. The body, この体、アディシタナム、
Yeah.
活動の場っていうのが、私たちの行動、私たちの行動を制限するもの、それにも限られ
Yeah, so our karma
なので私たちのカルマ
gives us a certain body.
がこの肉体、ある特定の肉体っていうのを用意してきたわけです。
Now, of course, the human body is the human body,
もちろんね、人間っていう種類の肉体をみんなもらってはいるんだけど、
but not all bodies are the same.
でも人間の中でもみんなの体それぞれ違うよね。
For example, all of the ones who practice Hatha Yoga with me, they know my arms are very short.
例えばハタヨガを僕と練習するみんなはご存知の通り、僕の腕はとても短い。
And I see Hizaru there, his arm's very long.
イズルの腕はとても長いです。
And I practice beside him in the dojo during the TTC.
ね、道場でね、TTC 中、彼の横で僕練習してますけど、
And I like in the very first twist we do every class, like we do the seated twist.
で、クラスの初めにやるね、座りながらのツイストのポーズ。
And we usually twist to the right first, so I see him twisting.
で、だいたい右にツイストしたとき彼がツイストしてる姿が見えるじゃない。
And then I watch how easily he can do his hand, just easily grab his foot very casually, almost like no effort.
で、彼がどれだけ楽に、もう全然努力しないで、スルッと足がつかめちゃうっていう姿をね、いつも目撃してます。
And then I can feel how much effort I have to exert because my small arms, I have to twist a lot.
And bigger belly?
I mean, that's not the difference. It's always been like this, even when I was thinner than him.
で、レイロンは腕が短いから足をキャッチするのにね、すごい頑張んないといけないんですよね。で、お腹も大きいしねって言ったら、ヒズルより細かった時もそうだったそうです。
It's always been a hard work for me, always.
いつでもどんな体が細くてもいつでもその手は頑張って伸ばさないとできなかった。
Okay, so everybody with their body has some kind of advantage or disadvantage.
なので肉体があるっていうことは誰もが何かしらのアドバンテージ、優位性と何かしらの、弱点っていうか苦手なことがあるわけだよね。
And then, of course, the senses. Sometimes some people have very limited senses.
で、あと感覚ですね。これも人によってはね、この感覚っていうのがすごい限られてる人もいます。
Some people need glasses or surgery to improve their eyes.
メガネが必要な人とか、あとは目の手術をして、視力を回復しないといけないというか、する必要がある人もいますね。それ私なんですけど。
Yeah, so the soul's ability to express action is limited by the karmas of the body that has been given to it.
なので魂っていうのはこの世界で行為をするために、カルマによって与えられたこの活動っていうのの範囲内、この体ができる範囲内でしか活動ができないってことです。
But the most important thing,
一番大事なのは
it's actually not about any of these mundane material things that we focus on.
でも私たちがねよくフォーカスするこういう普通の物質的な、次元の話ではなくって大事なのは
For example, how beautiful you do a handstand or how beautiful you play an instrument.
例えばハンドスタンドがどれぐらい美しくできるかとか、どれぐらい美しい楽器の演奏ができるかとかいう話じゃなくて、
Or how good you making your cheesecake.
またはチーズケーキを作るのがどれだけ上手かとか
Whatever.
とかではなくですね、
The most important part of action is the right or the wrong.
で行為の中で一番大事なのは、正しいか正しくないかです。 Can you hear me? Okay?
Yes, okay. Nee. Yes. And so last part of this segment, Juhachi Ten Juruku. Tatraivam sati kartaram Atmanam kevalam tuya pashyatya krita buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmati.
Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevaram tuya pashyatya krita buddhitvam nasa pashyati durmati.
Tatra, there.
そこに
Sokoni, evam thus.
このように
Kono yoni, sati, being.
であること
De arukoto, kartaram, the worker.
行為者
Koisha, atmanam, himself.
彼自身
Kare chishin, kevaram, only.
唯一
Yuitsu, to, but,
しかし
shikashi, ya, anyone who.
である人は誰
De
でも
arute, dareremo. Pashyati, sees.
見る
Miru, akrita buddhitvat, due to unintelligence.
知性がないために
Shisega nai tamani. Na, never.
決してない
Keshite nai. Sa, he,
彼
kare, pashyati, sees. Miru.
見る
Durmati, the foolish.
愚かな
Orokona. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are.
ゆえに自分だけが行為者であると考え5つの要素についてよく考えない者は明らかに知性が乏しく物事をありのままに見ることができない人である。
So, yes. Ultimately, God, Krishna, the super soul, is the primary doer.
究極的な超越的な魂、思考の魂が一番の行為者です。物事を動かしてます。
I've always brought up the occurrence.
で、よく僕が話すある出来事。
You have to do some kind of errand.
じゃあなんか今日お買い物とかお使いをしないといけない。
Maybe go grocery shopping.
ね、夕飯の買い物とか。
And all these things happen. You're preparing, and then you get in the car and you drive.
で、いろいろ準備して車に乗る。
Now, sometimes between you leaving the, like when you're, before you leave the house, you forget where you put your keys, or you forgot to turn on the washing machine, or you forgot to do this, or something happens. And then in those moments, that time has done something. And then as you arrive in the grocery store, maybe you have an accident that wouldn't have happened if you were 5 seconds earlier. Or you meet a friend, which wouldn't have happened if you were 5 seconds later.
で、例えば車に乗ろうとしたんだけど、それ鍵を忘れて取りに戻るとか、洗濯機オンするの忘れた、洗濯機オンしに戻るとかっていうこの1分とかの差で、その後出発して、事故から逃れる、その1分のおかげで事故から逃れる、または事故に遭う、または、友達に会うとかっていうなんか絶妙なタイミングになったりしますよね。
So we don't have control of this timing.
こういうタイミングに関して私たちはコントロールができないわけです。
We don't understand why things are occurring the way they do. They just do. Even though we have some kind of desire to do something, it doesn't happen on our schedule. It happens on its own schedule.
自分の思うスケジュールっていうのもあるんだけれども、それ通りにはいつもいかないですよね。なんか世界自体のスケジュールがあるっていう感じがしませんか？私たちがコントロールできない。
And everything is timed not according to the way we want it, but rather as towards Sri Krishna's master plan.
私たちが望んでるように全てはことが運ばないですよね。シュリクリシュナのマスタープラン、計画によって動いてるっていう感じですよね。
So we should understand that there is machinations going on behind the scenes that are beyond our ability to manipulate.
なので私たちが操れる範囲を超えたところで物事を動かしているっていうことが起
when we don't see God, we think that we do.
神様が見えないと自分がやってるって思い込んでしまうんだけど、
But when we see God, we understand that He does, and we just kind of flail about in the material world.
でも神が分かっていれば、見えていれば、もう神の、操ってるこの世界の中で、私たちはその中でなんかちょこまかしてるっていう、全貌が見えますよね。
We need to understand and know how things are done.
で、私たちはね、物事がどのように、なされているかっていうのを理解していかないといけない。
Who is the doer?
誰が行為者で、
Also, like the motivations of our actions also.
あと私たちのね、行為の動機もですね。
And that's what we talk about God consciousness.
だから神意識っていう話をするんだけれど
The person who's God conscious is not living in illusion.
神意識であるっていうことは幻想の中に生きないっていうことでもあるよね。
They know who does everything.
全てを行っているのが誰かっていうのを分かっているってこと。
So next one. 18:17. Yasya nahan krito bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sai malokan nahanti nani bhadyate. Yasya. Go ahead.
スヤナハンクリトバボブディリアスヤナリピャテハトワピサイマロカンナハンティナニパディアテ。
Let's have Hizuru chant. Matsumegu. Matmig. Very good. Yasya, one whose. No mono. Not never. Keshite nai. Ahankrita, a false ego. Itsubari no jigaishiki no. Bhava, nature, shizen. Buddhi, intelligence. Shise. Yasya, one whose. No mono. Na, never. Keshite nai. So, lipyate is attached. Shuchaku sare. Hatva, killing. Korosu koto. Api, even. Desai. Saha, he. Kare. Iman, this. Kono. Lokan, the world. Sekai. Na, never. Keshite nai. Hanti, kills. Korosu. Na, never. Keshite nai. Nibadyate. Becomes entangled. Karameru. Karameru. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his action.
誤った自我意識に刺激されることなく、知性が混乱していない人はこの世界で人を殺しても殺すことなく、自分の行為に縛られることもない。
So this is very strong shloka.
はい、これはとっても強いシュローカですね。
This is a really strong shloka that can be very, very, very misused.
ものすごく誤っ
ね. Because someone can say, I'm not falsely ego-driven. My intelligence is not attached so I can kill people, and I don't really kill.
だってね、こういうこと言えちゃいますよね。私は自我意識に刺激されてないです。知性も混乱してないです。だから人を殺せますみたいな。
Now, the killing is used because it's kind of the most extreme action that there is.
まあ、行為の中で一番究極なものが殺すっていうことだと思うから、殺すっていう例えが使われてるんだけれども。
And like also this shloka basically sums up what is required for us to become purified.
あとはこのシローカがまとめ上げてるのは私たちが浄化されるためには何が必要かっていうことですね。
Right? And we all know, basically, even in New Age philosophy, the false ego is the primary obstacle.
誤った自我意識こそが障害だっていうことはもう分かってると思います。ニューエイジの哲学でもそう言われてますかね。
Yeah, so the false ego needs to become completely, basically eradicated. That's what yoga chitta vritti nirodha would be. The vrittis themselves are ego. So the destruction of the vrittis would be the destruction of the false ego.
で、この誤った自我意識こそが破壊されないといけないわけですよね。それがヨガチッタブリッティニローダハの意味でもあり、つまりブリッティ雑念想念っていうのはエゴから誤った自我意識から来てるので、それを、なくすこととか静かにさせること、をしないといけないんだよね。
And what is the ego, actually?
じゃあエゴとは
It's actually, if you think about it, our most cherished thing.
私たちが一番大事にしていることでもあるよね。
Now, of all the things in this world that obstruct us from truth, and of all the things in this world that we are most attached to, it is our ego.
その真実から私気をそらしてくるものはこの誤った自我意識だし、同時に私たちが一番大切にしているというか頼りにしているのもこのエゴの部分ですね。
Right? And that's the primary thing that does make us think that we are the doer, that makes us think that we are great, or that we deserve this, or that we should have our time, and whatever it is that we think we need or we should have. It's all because of the false ego.
で、この誤った自我意識こそが私たちになんか私はこれをしている、行為者は私だとか、自分の人生を自分のものだと思っているとか、私はこれをするに値するとか、または値しないとか、いろんな思い込みが生まれてくる原因はここですよね。
So to be in Krishna consciousness, to have God consciousness, means to not have ego, actually.
で、神意識、クリシュナ意識でいるってことは、この誤った自我意識がない状態でないといけない。
So if the ego, our biggest obstacle and also our biggest attachment.
で、この誤った自我意識こそが私たちの一番の障害でもあり、しかも一番の執着の矛先でもあります。
What is the most proper way to relate to this?
で、これに対してね、一番正しい、考え方は何でしょうか？
It actually is to offer it to God.
使い方かな。で、これの使い方、一番いいのは神様に捧げることですね。
Yeah, often it would, in some of the old spiritual traditions, the idea that you should offer your head to the Supreme.
伝統的にはね、思考主には頭を捧げるっていう言い方をするんだけど、
Yeah, offer your head. Take your head off and give it to God directly.
ってことは頭を取り外して直接神様に捧げようみたいな感じ。
Can we do that?
それできるかしら？
No, we can't take our head off.
頭取れないよね。
But
けど、
we can offer our ego.
私たちの自我意識は、誤った自我意識は捧げられます。
Right? So understand what it's saying. It's not saying kill yourself for God. It's saying give your ego to Him.
っていうのは自分を殺しなさい、頭を切りなさいって言ってるんじゃなくて、このエゴの部分をもう神様に差し出しなさいって言ってるんだよね。
Now, ultimately, when that happens, the intelligence also will not have attachment.
で、究極それが起きると知性っていうのに執着がなくなります。
Okay? And then from there, all of a sudden, you have God consciousness. Suddenly you understand, I'm living in God, around God. God is the only doer.
で、そこから神意識っていうのが芽生えてくる。私は神の中に住んでいて、で、神の中に住んでいて、私の中にも神が住んでいて、神しか行為者がいないっていうことに気づいてくる。
Okay? God is the only doer. Therefore, I'm not bound by actions anymore.
神しか行為者がいない。行為をしているのは神しかいないってことは、私自身はこの行為の結果にとらわれないっていうことが分かってくるよね。
Yeah. And also that frees us from the karma of all action.
で、そうしていると、私たちが行う行為の、カルマ、結果っていうのから私たちに縛られなくなってくるわけですよ。
And that's also ultimately why Krishna is even giving this satsang to begin with.
だからこそ究極、クリシュナがこのサットサンガをアルジュナにしている、理由こそがこれです。
Right? Arjuna is full of ego. He's trying to figure out, I don't want to do this war. I don't want to fight.
ね、アルジュナが今エゴまみれになっちゃってるわけですよね。僕は戦いたくない。この戦いに僕は意味を見出せない。戦いたくないですって言ってるね。
Krishna is enlightening him so that he can do this fight.
で、クリシュナはそこでアルジュナに真実を見せてるわけです。悟らせてるわけですね。そしたら、アルジュナがちゃんと、真理にのっとって戦えるようにですね。ダルマが行えるようにですね。
Right? Nah.
It's like Arjuna doesn't want to kill certain people, like my loved ones.
Yes.
But Krishna says, since when did you get to decide who dies and who doesn't die? Like, are you the one who decide? You who can decide who dies in the battle and who doesn't die in the battle? Like, when did you think you have the right to do that?
Yes.
なんかアルジュナはこの戦いで自分の先生とか親戚とかを殺さなきゃいけないでそれは嫌だ。こう親戚とかを殺したくないって言ってるんだけど、そこで神様は全部を司っているクリシュナはいやあなたに誰が死ぬ誰が死なないとか誰がいつ死ぬ死なないとかを決めれる権利ってあったっけって思い出させてくれてるんですよね。
Yeah. So yeah, we don't have control of these things. We are actually just performing God's work.
私たちはこういったこと誰がいつ死ぬとか何が起きるとかそういうことをコントロールできないですよね。もう神様しかそれはコントロールしてないわけですから。
So and then the funny thing is, if you think about it, maybe you would do the same thing with God consciousness or without it.
で考えてみると、神意識を持っていようが持っていなかろうが結局あなたは同じことをするでしょうね。
But one big difference.
でも大きな違いは
Karma.
カルマですね。
Yeah. One, you're doing something thinking it's you. Two, you understand God is doing through you.
自分がやってるって思うか、または神が私っていう道具を通して行ってるって思うかの違い。外から見たら同じことしてるんだけど。
Yeah. This is a very important shloka.
とても大事なシュローカ。
Very, very, very important. So,
This one.
yeah.
The person who tried to follow this shloka.
Yeah.
Has to make sure that the action is backed up by the Shastra, following the Dharma.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, that would be the right or wrong action, right?
Yeah, like you can't say, my God is doing this action through me towards any action. You can't apply that.
Yes.
Like this killing is only sanctioned because it's dharmic.
Yeah, well, he's Kshatriya, right? Yeah.
本当文脈が大事ですよね。これここで殺すアルジュナが殺すが許されてるのは、もうこれがダルマ的な正当な動き、歴史的な文脈全部踏まえてもう殺すしかないし、それがダルマを守るために必要な行為だから殺せるわけであって、どんな行為に対しても神様が私を使ってこの行為をしてますって言ったらいいわけじゃないでね。
Yeah. So
正しい行為っていう必要がありますね。
yeah. So a kshatriya is only sanctioned to to do that killing.
アルジュナはそもそもクシャトリアっていうもう
Or to do violence. To do violence, basically.
という階級で生まれて育って訓練を受けてきて、社会的にそれが、限られた状況で暴力を使っていいとダルマ的に許されている人です。
Is for to protect the innocents.
無垢な純粋な人たちを守るためにの戦いですね。
Uphold justice.
正義を社会的正義を保つためです。
Maintain social order.
社会的な秩序を保つため。
And only in the context of warfare or law enforcement.
で、法がなされるとか、戦争、国が、行っている正当な戦いの中でだけですね。
And punishment for aggressors, basically.
つまり法を破る人たちを罰するための暴力。
Especially,
殺しですよね、ここでは。
especially like violence in the terms of murder.
例えば殺人とかいう暴力。
Arson, like someone who's like starting fire.
とか、放火、火をつける。
Poisoning.
ポイズニング、毒を盛る。
And violent robbery.
あとは暴力を使った盗み。
And then according to traditional law,
で、伝統的な法律によると、
yeah, they're not allowed to hurt Brahmins.
あとブラーミンたち、つまり司祭たちに危害を加えてはいけないです、ね。
Children.
子供たち。
The aged, disabled, or weary.
弱い人、年寄り、障害者を、傷つけてはいけない。
Those who surrender or without weapons.
あと武器なしでもう私は降参しますって言ってる人も攻撃しちゃいけないです、クシャトリアたちは。
And women.
女性も。
Yeah. Yes. Also, those who are, so we cannot hurt those who are surrendered or those who are sleeping or eating.
で、あとは寝てる人も攻撃しちゃいけないし、食べてる人も攻撃しちゃいけない。
Yeah, so these are the ancient laws of war, actually.
戦争には昔はこういう法律があったわけです。戦い方。
So that means you're not allowed to kill people like in the nighttime.
っていうことは夜休んでるとか寝てる人を殺しちゃいけないんだよね。
Those rules nowadays, they're not like this at all.
今ではもうそういう戦争のルールすらない。
Yeah, if there's enemy somewhere, people are killing anytime, any place, as long as they can get them. That's the only thing they care about. Can I get them? And even if they're killing like a whole bunch of other people around them, they'll do it.
いつでもどこでももう好き放題やれてしまうときはやってしまう。で、そのことを攻撃してしまうのが今の暴力だよね。
Yeah, so you can see how far it's come, right?
なんでどれぐらいこの正当な戦いというものがなくなってしまったかっていうのも分かりますね。
Like World War II, so many bad things happened, right?
第二次世界大戦とかもそうですけど、本当にひどい状況が起きてますよね。
So many innocent people killed.
本当に無罪の人たちがいっぱい殺されてますから。
So that is not Kshatriya warfare.
それとここで語られているアルジュナのやってるクシャトリアの戦いは全く別物です。
Right, yeah. So again, those rules, like this is Kali Yuga, those rules, like they're thrown out the window at this point.
カリユガなので、もうこういう戦
Yeah, and even in traditionally, a kshatriya normally only kills another kshatriya.
伝統的にはね、クシャトリアはクシャトリアしか殺しちゃいけないっていうことです。お相撲さんが一般人をにこうと戦っちゃいけないみたいなことですよね。
Right? The other people are not normally in the battlefield.
訓練受けてない人はその戦場にはいないですから、この時代は。
So anyway, it's a bit of an idea of what it is to be a kshatriya and what Arjuna's real duty is.
なので、クシャトリアとは何か、そしてアルジュナに課された義務は何なのかっていうのをちゃんと知らないといけないね。
Right? So nowadays, when all those rules are broken,
こういうルールがもう今ではブロークンで壊されているので、
is it actually ever sanctioned to do warfare nowadays?
ってことはもう今において戦争とかっていうのは、正当な戦争なんて存在するんでしょうか？
That's a good understanding, ne?
考えてみること大切ですね、それは。
Maybe in Kali Yuga there's no such things as sanctioned violence anymore. Maybe it's all bad.
カリユガにおいてはもう正当な許される戦い、攻撃、暴力っていうのはもう存在しないかもね。
Yeah. So something to think about, but we're not guntai soldiers, these kind of people, so we don't really need to worry about it.
で、no, it's not only that, like abortion and
Yeah.
also killing also putting people die, like supported death.
Okay, so you're gonna open up that box then, Junko. Okay.
No, I'm not saying like, just because we're not soldiers doesn't mean that we have nothing to do with killing.
All right.
Killing.
All right. So, I mean, that I was talking in particular about kshatriya violence, but yeah. If you're talking about modern violence, it goes all the way to the meat eating, right? And then it would go also to abortion, yes. It would go to violence of all those kinds. But then you got to think about even the violence to all the animals and ecosystem and all of these things that happens even just from the harvesting of minerals and resources, right? Is a lot. So, nah.
It's okay. We don't need to go deep. Just this idea.
Yes. That's why I limited to kshatriya.
そうクシャトリアっていうことに関して私たちは軍人ではないので、そういう国の戦争とかのことに関しては心配しないというか、自分の義務ではないけれども、社会的な殺しを許すかとか、許された暴力とは存在するかっていう話においては、中絶とか、あとは今あるのはもう自殺したい人をサポートするとか、サポートするシステムが世界であったり、あとはもう、安楽死とかですね、っていうのも許される殺しなのかどうかっていう話はあるよねって言ったら、そんなこと言ったら、じゃあ動物たちを殺すことがあり、食べるために殺すのがありなのかとか、鉱物とかを、私たちは地球から搾取していくこともありなのかとか、そういういろんな生命体の搾取とか殺しにもっていうトピックにもなっていくんで、広すぎてあれなんですけど、一つそういった観点も考えてみることも大切ですね。
Jai.
Jai.
Yeah. One day we'll talk about all of the ahimsa, the full breadth of ahimsa, but that's not today.
またいつかね、アヒムサについては全体的な意味で話していこうと思います。今日ではなくてね。
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, anyone who's in our online ashram, if you go back in our archive, there's a good 6 or 7 hours just on ahimsa.
オンラインヨガアシュラムのアーカイブにはアシタンガ8子則っていうシリーズがあって、その中でアヒムサ、非暴力について、7、8時間ぐらい話してるのがあるので、アーカイブぜひ興味ある方見てみてください。
Yeah, we went with a fine-tooth comb through every detail that we could think of.
考えつけるすべての則 面について話したかな。
Yeah. But that's not for today. For now, I have to say thank you. And I hope that tomorrow's class, Junko's connection will be strong and
I hope
steady.
so.
Last time it was the same. Once Matsumegu came yesterday and today, you just dropped off. Once she turned on her video, it was the same thing. It's funny timing. Very funny timing.
So something to do with the heaviness of the Zoom?
Maybe tabun. But I don't think so because now we're running quite fine. Everybody's on full power. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
ありがとう皆さん。すいませんでした。今日はコネクション問題。
It's okay. I got to chant the Garga Samhita for everybody.
Oh,
Ne.
nice.
Yes. So vancha kalpataru byacha kripa sindubhye vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, everyone. We love you. Aishite mas.